Hello and welcome to I Blessing Up YouTube channel, and I am Blessing Ezinne, also known as I Blessing, and I'll be your facilitator for this class. Today is one of the trainings and we'll be looking at what is graphic design. I know when we say graphic design, what comes to your mind is a great artistic advertisement, eye-catchy designs on websites, good flyer design, very beautiful logos, good infographics, good banners, beautiful book covers, and many more like that. Well, as good as that may look and that may sound, that is not what graphic design is. Those are just graphic design examples. The posters, the infographics, the banners, the book covers, the product labels, the logos, the business card, the website layouts, like I've listed earlier on, those are just graphic design examples, are the products of graphic design. So that's the reason why this video is created, to help us understand what the concept graphic design really is. And I found out that many people venture into this craft without knowing the basic and the fundamental knowledge of what graphic design is. So these graphic design examples, they don't totally explain what is graphic design. So this brings me to what is graphic design. According to the American Institute of Graphic Arts, the AIGA, graphic design was defined as the art and practice of planning and projecting ideas and experience with visual and textual content. So it's much more of interpreting, more of projecting, communicating certain ideas or message in a visual content. So graphic design is a very great way of projecting ideas. It's a very great way of interpreting and communicating an idea to what your onlooker. So take note of the word graphic design. It is not graphics design. It is graphic design. There's nothing like graphics design. So in the word graphic design, we have two parts or two layers in this subject, which is the graphic and design. The graphic and the design. The graphic has to do with the visual content of something or an information. That is what you can see. When I say Daddy is going to the village, I won't just say it. I can display it with an image. Daddy is walking. I'm off to the village. You understand? So graphic has to do with a visual display of an idea, interpreting or converting a message into something we can easily relate with. Even an old woman or an old man can actually look at it and quickly understand what it is, even without reading any caption and below. You can easily just look at this thing and say, this is what is happening. This guy is angry. This guy is sad. That's that has to itchy and stuff like that. It has its own color that people can easily relate with it, that this is a design for food, this is a design for mechanic engineering, this is a design for gas plants, this is a design for this, and this is a design for that. It's because of also the colors you will use for it it will be able to explain it much more to your onlookers that this is a design for this and this is a design for that. I'm not gotten there yet, but I'll be explaining it gradually. So just follow me. So transforming an idea or information into what you can see, that's the visual content, and that's what graphic is all about. So graphic has to do with, like I said, with the visual content of something or an information, and it has to do with the element of graphic design. I'll be coming there very soon. The other part of graphic design is the design part. So the design has to do with problem solving. So it has to do with planning and sketching out what your onlookers, what your viewers can see, which is the graphic we talk about. Graphic is the visual content, while the design is the sketching out. It has to do with the problem solving, the planning of how you can relate it to your audience. Okay, so in summary, graphic design is a visual communication of an idea by using simple text, the pictures, the shapes, the color, good fonts, and the principles of graphic design. So let's look at the elements of a graphic design. Number one element is the color. A good graphic designer must know and understand color theory and its placement, or else a single color displacement can actually distort your whole design. Take for example, you want to make a design for Valentine party and you're using a sky blue color for your design. That's just so wrong, and it has the ability to make every of your effort seem useless. You understand? Like I said before, that even someone that cannot design can actually tell if the design is great or if it is not. So a designer, you don't just start designing like that. You must first understand the psychology behind every color. Okay, so number 2 element is the line, and a good graphic designer must also understand that there is need to master the use of lines and how to place the written text. So you can actually make write-ups and you don't know how to arrange them well on your design. That's I came across a lady, for example. She's a very good I think she's into healthcare, something like that. And then I saw a flyer. I was like, what's this? She found it as insulting, but I just knew this is just too wrong, because she's the one doing the flyer by herself. I think she was the one doing our website by herself. She's the one hosting the program. She's the one doing most of all these things. I can't just focus on one and diversify your this thing. I found out that a flyer is just so worse, because she didn't know she didn't know the align placement. Her text we're dragging space with her image, the image of she and her speakers in the program. The text on our flyers were fighting, we're dragging space with the image. And I was like, if you can arrange this text like this and you arrange this image like this would have been so good. But she didn't understand what line is. So you can actually make your design go worse when you don't understand line placements. So knowing of lines can also be the alignment of text. How you align your text can also be classified into knowledge about lines. If you want it to be at the left part, at the middle part, or at the right part, you understand it as we go on. You understand this much more as we go on in the class. So for the shapes also, that's the third element. You must know what shape to put in your design. You must know the kind of shape. If it is rectangle, that will go for here. If it is square, if it is circle. So remember, design is all about good combination of your shapes, of your text, your color, and so on. So we are looking at the elements now. So I've listed the color, the line, the shapes. So then the fourth one now is the font or your text. And this is the fourth element I'm listing now. The font or text has to do with the proper knowledge of the typography. So there is a font that's best and great for a birthday design that you shouldn't use for a church flyer, because it won't just be a great fit for it. Understanding text combination is like knowing the exact ingredient that will beautify your design. And truth be told, at times it could be really hard to find, and for sure you know that good things takes time. Anything that is so easy might not end up coming out well. So you must take your time to understand what you're passing through to your viewers, to your onlookers, and then you get the best font for it. Remember, design is all about interpreting. So when somebody brings a design for a birthday flyers, for a birthday design, for example, you don't just go and jump into design. You must be able to do the design part of it, which is the thinking part of it. You must be able to settle down and know which font. Go through your font on your app or your software. Go through your font, and then know the design, the font that's best for it as you're making your design. Okay, so there are others like space and textures and alignment and all like that, but I won't be going into that for now. So we'll be going into the principles of graphic design. Okay, so before I go to the principle, I also like us to know that the size of your design should also be part of the elements. The elements after the fonts on text, you also know the right size. The principles are also the balance, the contrast, the emphasis, the movement, the proportion, the reading. Like the emphasis, for example, a good graphic designer must know what to embolden more, what your lookers must see more. Like, are you looking for a good home tutor for your children? Call so number. That are you looking? It should not be emphasized Are you looking for a good professional home tutor? Professional home tutor you should know that professional home tutor should be very, very emphasized. And for your children, for your does not really need to be emphasized, but your children, that children should be emphasized. So the professional home tutor and the children should be emphasized, so that even when someone is far away looking at it, you will be able to relate that this is it. So that what attracts most of our viewers, most of our onlookers. So these things are what we'll be covering in the course of our class, and we really need to understand what this is all about before you can start making good design. I found out that, for example, the aspect of the text, the font, most people do not really understand. I've been a victim of that in time past, that I combine a lot of fonts in a design, and it must make it there's a feeling it gives to your design. There's a feeling it gives to your customers, your onlookers, like this just quack. Even someone that does not know how to design can actually really relate that if this is a good design or if it is a quack design. Many of you came into the group because you found out that this design is the flyer design is not, it cannot just be seen anywhere anyhow. Understand? So a good graphic design, you must be able to bring out something new. You must be creative enough to bring out something new, and something that is not common. We want to see something that is wow. We want to like wow. So there are different responses to a good design. They are okay, there's good, but that aspect of wow, that you can bring out wow from somebody's mouth, that aspect is what you should actually get to look into. I've get many responses of my designs. I've done many mistakes in designs in time past because I didn't understand this aspect of colors, shapes, where to the alignment, what to do here, the contrast, the kind of color to put. I've done so many mistakes. I hope to show you in the course of this class. I will show you my past design. You just have to laugh at me because I've done a lot of mistakes in the past, and that's what I'm trying to avoid for most of us here. So before you start making graphic design examples, you should be able to know, you should have known by now what graphic design is. Those flyers are mediums of expressing your the creativity in you, the knowledge you have about this craft. Understand? But the flyers, the posters, they are just forms, they're just media, they're just platforms to express this original information you've understood now. So I hope you understand what I've said. So like I've said before, in summary, graphic design is inspiration, graphic design is problem solving, graphic design is interpretation, graphic design is communication, graphic design is preparation, graphic design is planning. You must be able to sit down, calm down, think, what is the color of the company's logo? I want to make a flyer. You can't just, the company logo is blue and I'm now making design, I'm using yellow fonts. The color of my font is yellow. Why did this thing is logo? I'm adding purple. The logo of the company is blue. You must walk in line. You must be able to know that there's alignment in this thing. You don't just come and start. At times I take time as long as 2 hours, 3 hours to start before I start up a design, because I take time to think, I take time to analyze, to that's just it. So a good graphic designer must be able to think, must be able to analyze, must be able to plan, must be able to create. So I hope this really helps you. Goodbye for now. We meet